What are we talking about today, Reese? Is this going to excite me? Am I going to get all titillated?
Oh, actually, you've really gone in with the right tone. You're really...
Clarice?
If we were going to do a vibe check,
yes,
you would just check in the right vibes, because this episode is called The Sexiest Man in Winnipeg.
And you think, and the vibes of me doing a Hannibal Lecter impression reminds you of The Sexiest Man in Winnipeg?
No, you just said tantalize me, and then you started doing an impression of Hannibal Lecter.
Well, I was doing Hannibal Lecter before the show started.
But the listeners didn't know that, did they?
You could put it in.
Jesse.
That's a thing you could do. You edit the show.
Born with fourth wall blindness, Jesse Harley. Anyway.
The Sexiest Man in Winnipeg. Play the music. Let's do this. I want to know.
What makes Canada boring?
Have you ever seen the flag? It's a leaf.
£1 million to go to Canada.
Canada is boring.
I was actually shocked. I mean, from all the countries they could choose from.
Do you like maple syrup?
No, I don't.
These Canadians ain't got a care in the world.
Get my country's name out of your fucking mouth.
I was like, oh, he's in Canada. All right. Okay, you communist.
The country needs you. I'm Canadian.
But don't feel bad for Canada. Believe me, this is their strategy.
I'll tell you another thing. Their beer sucks.
Don't run off to Canada. It's so boring there.
Hello and welcome to Canada is Boring. My name is Reese Waters, and with me is, as I've already called him, Jesse the fourth wall blind Harley.
That's a new one. I like it. It dawned on me that our two previous Tim Hortons episodes, which were really fun, I talked a lot about like, oh, I'll mention that in the STD Zone, and then the second one, I'm like, I'll mention this in the STD Zone, and we didn't have an STD Zone in either one of them. I don't think
we ran out of time. It was so dense.
It was so
I
dense.
hope people. They did really well on YouTube. I mean, I'd say did really well. They had
like nobody watches us on YouTube, so it's like
views.
we got more than 12 views on YouTube. That's us doing really well on YouTube. Yeah,
people just prefer the. I don't blame them not wanting to look at as I've said it before,
our fat bloated carcasses. This is
the bloated carcasses of two middle-aged men yapping on. I imagine that if you're in a car and you just hear our voice, you can
imagine that we're the sexiest men in Winnipeg.
Exactly,
yeah.
Or another small city. Where
what's on your tiny shirt you're wearing there, Reese? Daytona 500 NASCAR. All right,
yeah,
they're really snugging your guns there, showing off the gun show.
Are they?
Give us a little flex. Let's see. Come on.
I'm flexing my muscles on a webcam. I'm a respectable member of the Halifax business community. Not part of his night crawling. A creature of the night, Jesse.
Join me on the dark side.
I've been shoveling snow, so if I look a bit buff, it's
there now you're flexing.
There you go. My snowblower broke, and I've got a 100-yard lane, and I've had to shovel it the last couple of snowfalls. So I've just had a little bit of a workout.
There you go.
Heart attack snow.
Heart attack. That's the best, right? That's why I have kids, man. That's why my dad every single time we'd have snow, my dad would get us to go shovel it every single time.
I drag my 14-year-old son to help.
It's just free labor, man.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
If you're in charge of feeding someone, you get a lot of say in the activities they do.
Anyway. Right? Come shovel snow. It's a fun game. So I stole the title for this episode from the Amazon Prime documentary, The Sexiest Man in Winnipeg, which I did watch. That is a movie, isn't it? I thought I heard about this. I'm looking this up.
Is a feature-length documentary about Steve Vogelsang, who was a CKY TV news anchor in Winnipeg.
2.5 stars. That's.
I'll get to that. I'll get to.
911, where is your emergency?
We just had an attempted robbery. The note said to give
$50,000. They have my grandson.
Caucasian, probably 5'6", 5'8". There was a weapon.
A man left with an undisclosed amount of cash.
$375. That's Steve.
Shocking allegations about a well-known personality in Winnipeg tonight.
Yeah. This isn't your typical true crime documentary.
Back in the 90s, everybody loved Steve.
U.S. Marine wrestled Japanese sumo giant, and I can take him with one arm tied behind my back.
It's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way.
It certainly is.
The Uptown magazine voted Steve as the sexiest man in Winnipeg.
I never thought of him as the cover of Playgirl magazine.
Do you have any questions?
Huh? What?
Pardon me?
Are we sure this is the right guy?
Nobody could believe it.
Is this Mike live?
Why is a news reporter out of Winnipeg robbing banks?
He truly thought he could get away with it.
I robbed a couple of banks with a glue gun. I was more of a danger to bedazzle someone's jeans than shoot them.
Something happened, but I still don't know today what happened.
We're rolling, Steve.
In 3, 2. This is where it got real.
He's conniving, he's a liar.
Touche. You believe him? Wow.
Did he do it to thrust himself back into the spotlight?
If he was going to go down, he was going to go down big.
Ladies and gentlemen, the sexiest man in Winnipeg.
So the documentary, but we'll talk a little bit about some of the news stories, but we'll cover a lot of what's in the documentary too. So he was a sports anchor and eventually the sports director for the local news in Winnipeg. He was well known as a TV personality and a media figure. You know, when you go to a small city and there's someone who's on the news or the radio, and they just become a local celebrity because they're like a weatherman who wears like bright ties. Or
you guys have one. You guys have one in Halifax. I think his name is Brett. He's a newsman, a news anchor. Like he goes out in the street. He's big on Instagram. Like for whatever reason, he's just like this. He's just a charming personality. He's like
totally not on my radar at all.
No. Interesting, but yeah.
Anyway, like that.
He blew up in Halifax on Instagram and TikTok, and he just delivers the news in this charming sort of way. So Brent or Brett, one of the two.
So memorable. I've never heard of him. You know his name.
What about the oh my god, the guy who's
just naming people you recognize.
No, the famous Cape Breton. He would tell the weather.
I don't know.
You've got it. Oh my god, Frankie McDonald.
Oh, Frankie. Yeah, but I suppose he's a good local celebrity. Same as the potato salad guy who had the liter after liter of potato salad in the ring. But Steve Vogelsang was a newscaster in the 90s. So before the internet, if you were on local news, it was way bigger profile because everyone would watch the news at the same time every night. So if you're a news anchor, so he was like really popular. He was recognizable to most people in Manitoba. So he was like a celebrity in Manitoba. Manitoba famous hashtag. If you're going to do Manitoba Nights. So
a call back to a show that Reese and I wanted to make back in the first
Manitoba
season of
Nights.
Manitoba Nights. We wanted to make a television show, but
there was no depth beyond the title, to be honest.
No, it was two detectives who went around solving quirky murders and crimes
in muscle cars.
In muscle cars in Manitoba.
Yeah.
I still think it has legs. Starring you and me.
It would just be a rip-off of Police Squad / Naked Gun. Or those kind of shows, but I quite happily rip off that professionally. Anyway,
the whole sex Frank thing is the funniest fucking line in all of those movies. When they're talking, like he's Frank Drebin, the police in I think it was Naked Gun 1 or 2, but he's talking with his chief, and about like where did this guy go? Like he went down to the red light district. Why would he go there? And the chief looks at him and was like, sex, Frank? And Frank looks at him and was like, no, not right now. We've got work to do.
Well, Airplane.
Kills me every time.
Airplane, the original film that kind of spun off that genre and like kind of launched Leslie Nielsen's career. They basically got a serious film script. They got the script of a serious film that was not very good.
What?
And then they just played with all the words and like added all those extra layers of jokes. I love it.
Surely you must be joking.
I am, and don't call me Shirley. Anyway.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
love
very
those
much.
songs. So he was a popular local broadcaster, big in the 90s, once voted Winnipeg's sexiest man in the 90s too. You know, he had a stellar career. I imagine, you know, he could have...
What's this guy's name? I want to look up how
Steve
sexy he is.
Steve Vogelsang.
Steve Vogelsang?
Yeah, I mean, the requirement...
How do you spell that?
Vogelsang. Vogelsang.
Vogelsang.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Vogel?
Right. You're going to literally just look at a picture of him. I'll send you a picture later.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
That is the sexiest man. All right. Well,
a lot of people leave, Jesse. So I'm sure there's lots of sexy people in Manitoba.
I'm sure this is the sexiest though. Then,
but I mean, this was 30 years ago when he won it. So,
okay, fair.
So, in 2002, he left television and became the journalism instructor at Red River College. So he transitioned out of nighttime TV, and then started teaching students about journalism,
about how to be sexy.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So he was kind of public face and media celebrity, became an educator and mentor. However, after leaving broadcasting, he fell on hard times. Him and his wife lost $85,000 in the sale of a property in Vernon, British Columbia, and they later purchased a home in Winnipeg that had overburdened them financially in terms of the cost of it.
What year was this?
This was... It doesn't say the exact year. However, I can tell you that him and his wife divorced in December 2016.
So he lost a bunch of money in real estate. They tried real estate again. They lost more money, and then she left him.
Yeah, and payments on the home were being missed, and foreclosure was looming. So
this is what year? Sorry, 20 what?
This was 2016.
2016.
And
so
then
he's had a rough go.
Yeah, and in later court cases, because this is all building towards something that will end up in court.
Mm-hmm. Was he just to backtrack a little bit? He was known as the sexiest man in Winnipeg when he was doing the news. Is that
he won the competition of Winnipeg's sexiest man once while he was doing the news?
Okay, but that's just
fun. It's a fun title.
That's a fun title. That is a fun title. Yeah,
guess your attention.
I would carry that for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
Like I would get in my 60s. I would get like the fattest I've ever been, and bloated, and just like I'm the sexiest man. Like just I'd show everyone the plaque,
and then quietly go 1993. Yeah, right. Exactly. So he emailed his wife to say, "I've been staying in my truck regularly. I cannot afford groceries." He also admitted he might have to steal food from friends until.
Is this just going to be like a really sad story? You love sad stories.
I don't love sad stories.
You are attracted to sad stories, Reese. There's something about you. You just.
It's just the darkness of the depth of my soul that's all consuming. That's all.
It's all consuming. Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah, just chill, Jesse. Jeez. So then also he ended up suffering from chronic depression. He was on disability twice in 5 years.
Did you say he had to steal food from friends? Like
he emailed his wife to say he might have to steal food.
Oh, he might have to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then a former student he dated obtained a protection order against him, basically saying, like, leave me alone. I don't want a relationship with you anymore. So it's kind of very sad. You've gone from Winnipeg's sexiest man to depressed man living in his truck and, living off welfare checks and everything like that. However, this is
so. I'm just. Do you have any more details about that? Because that is really sad. And like,
no, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I've got on that.
Because it feels like there might be more to that, because like losing a bunch of money in a real estate thing, that sucks.
Losing your home.
Oh, they lived in it. It wasn't like something that they were like. It was
no, it was their actual home.
Oh, that's different. I thought it was like an investment. Okay.
No, they ended up homeless and then they got divorced. So obviously you split all your assets. So,
okay, so that makes it much worse. Okay.
Yeah. However, in the summer of 2017, Vogelsang decided the bank robbery was the solution to solve his debt.
Fuck yes. Way to fucking go. I looked up Sexiest Man Alive, and just the cover was this guy in like a baklava mask. Is that the right term?
Balaclava. Baklava is the pastry from the Middle East using honey and puff pastry. It's delicious. Often has pistachio nuts in it too. If you're diabetic, it's a good option because it's made with honey.
Just before you go rob the bank, you smear your face in honey and nuts, pistachios, and some puff pastry. Yeah,
look at his pistachio mask.
Yeah. But no, he was wearing that, and I was like, "Why is he wearing that? That's interesting." So yeah, I didn't put the two together. So this is great. I love a good bank robbery story. I love it. So unless it's like, yeah.
So he had a plan. He decided he needed to rob 25 banks to clear his debts and start over. I don't know.
Jesus Christ! What?
But he wanted to.
Also, what year was this? This is, you said his wife left him in
2017. This was a year late.
Banks don't carry money. They don't carry cash anymore. They used to decades ago, but they just don't anymore.
They still do have some.
My father would routinely tell me and my brother, children, by the way, routinely tell us that if we were to ever rob a bank, don't rob banks because there's no cash in them anymore. Go rob grocery stores because they have a lot of cash on hand and very low security. I'm like, thanks, Dad. Like,
wonderful parenting.
Like more than, I'm going to say 5 times he has told this to us. Like, just
don't be an idiot, Jesse. Rob a grocery store.
I mean, it's really smart if you think about it.
Just imagine him
a fucking rent-a-cop there. You got to rent a cop there, and you got a safe in the back with $100,000 on the weekend. You know, like
I went to an RBC, and they wouldn't let me in because the vault door was stuck. And I was like, "You don't have like gold and diamonds in there? You don't have a lot of money on site anymore." This was like a small branch in Bedford, and they were like, "Sorry, we can't let you in. We can't open the vault." And I'm like, "Who the fuck needs a vault anymore?"
Seriously. And like it's like bank robbery is so it's all electronic money. There's no cash on hand. And there's weight, and the security is hyped up because of decades past.
Yeah.
They don't need it anymore, you know?
All you do is set up a cryptocurrency exchange and then take all the money. That's the easy way to rob people these days. Also, the internet has led me to believe, or podcasts in general. So
if any one of our listeners right now is curious on how to rob a bank and get away with it, here's the tips. A, don't rob a bank.
No.
Rob a grocery store. If you're insistent on robbing banks, you've got to go to small towns. Don't do it in a city. Go to a small town on like one of their holidays where like they've got a big celebration and lots of tourists are coming in. And then you go in the day after all the tourists are gone and everyone's tired and trying to clean up, and you go in, you rob a few banks along a few towns along the way. And this is how you get away with it. You don't tell a soul not a soul, not a
Jesse,
fucking soul.
Can you stop advising people to rob banks?
I'm not advising people to rob banks. I'm saying if you're already going to rob a bank, this is how you do it.
My suggestion is just get copper cable and just steal copper cable instead. It's way more low risk.
Do you know how bank robbers get caught? And this is like traditionally true. I'm assuming the Sexiest Man in Winnipeg got caught because we're telling the story about the person behind the bank robbery, so we know who did it. So I'm assuming he got caught. But like, the way people typically Batman. Yes. Thank you. Yep. You knew it was Batman. Batman's how you get caught if you rob banks.
Or the Joker kills you because he'd hired you all and then gets you all to kill each other until he's the last one and then reverses a bus into one of you. That's how robbery.
I just watched that the other day. Still holds up. Still a fantastic film. Yeah. But this is true. It's just it's not even a story. It's just they whoever looked like, it's not, whether it be the FBI or CSIS or whoever's involved in large crimes, they catch you doing it again. They look for patterns, right? They very rarely can they just catch you after the act. They have to catch you like in the act, in the pattern. Like they find a pattern. People who are good at a type of crime tend to do that crime over and over and over again, and they look for a pattern and then they catch you. And this is how they catch you. And so if you want to get away with a crime, do it once. Don't talk about it and never attempt it again, and you'll be fine. That's it.
There we go.
That's my advice. There you go.
Well, this was his plan. He wanted to keep the crime relatively low risk, so he carried no real weapon.
Smart, very smart. Oh my God, I have to tell you a short. I know you're trying to get through this so bad, but I love bank robbery stories. I know.
We barely scratched. Can I just tell you about this bank robbery story?
In Canada, if I don't know about the States, it might be the same. If you rob a bank with a gun versus without a gun, even if the gun's not loaded,
yeah,
okay, even if you never actually pointed at anyone, Okay. Even if you never even if you don't take it out of your pocket, sort of thing. I don't know about that. Probably that. It's still considered armed robbery. Like if you don't point the gun at anyone, if you don't threaten someone's life, if it's just kind of like by your side, sort of thing, it's still considered armed robbery.
Yeah.
It's even if you have a note. Okay, this is how far they've taken this law. If you have a note that says, and you pass the note along to the teller and says, and the note says, I have a gun, even if you don't have a gun, that is still considered armed robbery, and you will get higher jail term sentence for that, for just passing a note that says you had a gun. Now, my father, he had a fix for this. He did.
Was your dad have a secret career he never told you about?
He was a stand-up comedian, and this is one of his jokes. He's like, if you pass a note that says you have a gun, it's considered armed robbery. So this is what you do. I would go in with 2 notes. The first note says, I've got this note in my pocket that says I've got a gun. If you don't give me all the money in the teller, I'm going to show you the note. All right, I'll take a snort. That's good.
Okay, that's good.
It was brilliant.
This is a good joke. It's a good joke. Well, anyway.
If you love learning about all of Canada's weird shit and want to support Reese and Jesse, say hi or learn more, then visit CanadaIsBoring.com. Leave us a voicemail, watch our YouTube videos, connect to their social media accounts, buy our merch, all in one place. That's CanadaIsBoring.com. Enjoying this story? Falling in love with Jesse's rants? Concerned Reese is losing his accent? Then help grow Canada is Boring by massaging the algorithm with your beefy pipe fitter hands. Leave us a show review on Apple, an episode comment on Spotify, or leap over to YouTube and subscribe. Every little action means a whole lot to these attention-starved, loud mouths. So please help them continue to live this delusion. Otherwise, Jesse will fall off the rails and Reese will finally crash his Mustang into Halifax Harbor.
This PSA was brought to you by the Canadian Association of Seriously Self-Deluded Podcasters, or CanASP. Visit CanadaIsBoring.com to learn more.
His plan, he also assumed that like bank tellers were trained to comply with bank robbers.
I thought they were too.
Yeah, and he also said he convinced himself, they were victimless because he was stealing the bank's money, not the individual person's money that they were
also
robbing.
True.
Yeah. So to obscure his identity, he pulled a cap low over his eyes. He wore loose, baggy clothing. He sometimes wore a flannel shirt. He carried a bag containing a fake weapon. And a bunch of security images showed this kind of consistent pattern. But he never carried a real gun. He just used convincing props, like a fake bomb, which was a beeping box with wires hidden under his coat.
Oh, interesting.
Used to create the impression he was about to detonate explosives. And sometimes he had a glue gun concealed to simulate a firearm.
Interesting.
And he just wanted to make them feel there was a threat. He also...
But so it worked, did it? Like,
the other thing, it did. So the other thing he did was he would pretend that he was robbing against his will. So he'd hand them a note saying, "They've got my grandson. Please give me the money."
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was kind of emotional manipulation. He'd also work himself up into tears just to make it kind of convincing before he went in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he would basically he'd hand a note saying, "This is a robbery. Put $2,500 on the counter. Be quiet. Be fast." They were also
$2,500.
Yeah, but like he said, he wanted to do 25 bank robberies of smaller amounts.
Why not large? What was this thinking here? Why not just get as much money as he wanted?
Well, because he thought he was going to do lots of very low risk robberies. Although if you go in with a pretend bomb, the police are going to go. They're not going to take that as a low risk.
No, they're not. He thought he would get like it was. I don't understand his mentality here. You're still like robbing a bunch of. It's not like the judges be like, well, you stole $100,000, but you didn't steal it from one bank. You stole it for 20. So that's less in my eyes. Here's less of a sentence for you, sir. Like that's
well, here's his other plan. So he was described as being agitated but apologetic, not overtly violent, and he spoke in a controlled voice. He also walked calmly out. He never ran, and he always would drive away normally, as if to say, like.
So you're talking about this like
I'm gonna get to this now. I'm just telling you his methods. This was his plan. This is his plan.
It was planned.
So his first attempt was in July 2017. It nearly failed.
Tell me what happened.
So
tell the story.
He went into he parked outside a Regina bank. He planned to go in and just before closing, but the bank was busier than expected, so he aborted. He returned the next morning and tried again. Okay. The first robbery was successful. He demanded $50,000. The teller told him
he got it.
No, the teller told him the branch didn't have that much cash. So
isn't that something? You used to be able to get like hundreds of thousands.
Exactly.
In the 70s and 80s.
She placed a small stack of bills on the counter. He suddenly panicked because he realized that he didn't want to go to prison for $400, and he left without taking the money.
Now, I'm curious if legally that's still considered a robbery.
Attempted robbery?
Oh, that would be it. Yeah. Okay.
So then he refined his technique from that first kind of failure. So instead of asking for large sums, he demanded smaller amounts, and branches were likely to hand them over quickly. So it would be $2,000 to $2,500, and the robberies were faster and less suspicious. And because of this, he went on a robbery spree between July and October 2017, where he robbed 3 banks in Regina, 1 in Saskatoon, and 2 in Medicine Hat. So he was doing like Prairies. So
he's still
6 in total.
6 in total with 2,500, which is a weird number, right? Like, give me $2,356 right now. Like, they're just wasting time counting. Like, it's weird.
Exactly.
Just like, give me approximately $3,000. You're around money a lot. Just kind of just grab it and give it to me. Like,
so this is the point. Like,
he's not even making that. He's not even making that much money. Like, he's paying what? Like, He's making rent.
But he stayed in cheap road. I know, exactly. But he didn't need that much money to get back on his feet by the sound of it.
July, August, September, October, 6 banks, $2,500 each. Like, this isn't, you're not rolling in it, man. Like,
exactly. But this is where I kind of took issue with the documentary. So I feel like the documentary, they recreate his crimes like in front of a green screen, and he's got props and he's pretended to drive. And because he's a person.
What?
In the documentary, they get him to recreate his crimes like in a studio, a nicely lit studio, where he's like sat around and he's driving and he's kind of, he's a personality. He used to be on TV. He knows how to kind of like perform and be funny and charming. So it's very like, they start the documentary off as like, oh, this news presenter decided to become a bank robber. This is fun. And there's a point in the documentary where And that's how it feels in the first half of the documentary, like light and fun, and this isn't very serious. This guy went on a crime spree.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where they interview a police officer, and the police officer says, like, he had no regard for the trauma that he caused the people who worked in the banks. Because as far as they were concerned, they were real bombs, real guns, real kidnapping situations. And at that moment, the tone of the documentary totally changes.
Oh, it wasn't. Hold on. So was it because of that one interview that the tone changed, or was that the point that the tone changed from that point on?
I don't know, because it's such a jarring shift.
Because
it's such a jarring.
Hold on. I just have to yes, getting a gun pointed at you, yes, having a bomb pointed at you is going to be traumatic, but short-term traumatic. Like, go cry to your partner and have some wine and then realize you're totally fine and nothing bad actually happened sort of trauma. It's not real fucking trauma. You're not going to war and losing all of your friends in an explosion on the beach. It's not, that's trauma. This is like, oh, I had a bad day at work, but nothing actually bad happened. Like, it's not trauma. It's fucking cozy North American trauma. Okay.
But as far as they were concerned, it was a real robbery, and those were still real things until years.
Sure, yeah, no, of course.
Until years later.
I'm just debating the term trauma.
Okay, well,
okay. Was it scary for them? I bet it was. I bet it was a real scary day.
If a man walked into your apartment now with wires coming out of his coat, said, "I've got a bomb,"
yeah,
give me.
It'd be real scary.
Exactly.
Would it traumatize me is the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, but you know what I mean? It was deeply upsetting for the people.
Deeply upsetting, I will
deeply
go
upsetting
with.
for the. And at that
Give
point,
me-
the whole documentary changed, and it felt like the people making the documentary realized that they hadn't thought about the people. And it might have been
Oh, that's
totally,
really funny.
It might have been an intentional tone shift. It might totally have been an intentional tone shift. But as far as I'm concerned,
so funny, man.
it was so different stylistically from the first part that they even didn't show any of the footage of him doing his recreations.
I mean, like, it's got a really low rating on IMDb, but you're really selling it. It sounds fun in all the ways. Like, the first half sounds fun, and the second half even sounds fun.
But also, they kind of, what's his name? The guy from Arrested Development.
Will Arnett, yeah.
Will Arnett. He does voiceover, but the voiceover he does feels very crowbarred in afterwards as well. I feel like they have this incredible talent and a recognizable voice, but it kind of comes in like chunks in a way.
It was what's the word? Just oh my God. Where you just hire a celebrity just to boost the ability to sell your show. You know, they didn't use his talent, they just got him to do a quick gig, sort of.
Yeah, it was kind of underutilized.
He came in, read lines, left, took a paycheck.
I felt like it was done. I felt like it was done afterwards to maximize the appeal.
Probably, if it was narration.
Yeah. So then he one robbery led to his capture. So
always does. Yeah.
He was in Medicine Hat, Alberta, and it nearly went.
But hold on, this is the 7th bank robbery that he got caught. That's not very good.
So he was in Medicine Hat, Alberta. He entered a Royal Bank near closing time. He left.
Usually, sorry for interrupting, but usually around like this time, bank robbers are starting to get better at their craft. It's only like a year or so in that they start to get compliant and sloppy, and that's when they get caught. But dude,
exactly.
if you're getting caught on the 7th bank, this is not for you, buddy. This is just
so
sorry,
he left. He left $2,400. As he exited the bank, a woman saw him leaving and noticed his truck. Police later used her description and security footage to identify the vehicle. So his truck developed a mechanical problem, and instead of leaving town immediately, he stayed overnight in a hotel near where he'd done the robbery in Medicine Hat.
Oh my God.
Police located his truck in the parking lot while they were searching the city. And once they
they found all this cash on him.
Well, they saw that he'd upgraded a fast food meal to a combo.
Yeah.
Celebrate his latest winnings. Once they checked the license plate, they linked the vehicle to Vogelsang, and he was arrested soon after. He pled guilty, and essentially he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for the Saskatchewan robberies in April 2019.
That's
Then
pretty
in
good.
October 2019.
That's nice and low. Like,
he
I'm
got
sure he probably got less time than 5 years, I'm guessing.
Then he got an additional 18 months from Medicine Hat, and he served a total of 6.5 years in prison.
Oh, never mind. I guess he got exactly what he got sentenced.
And
that's
the lawyer,
not bad. Honestly, for a bank robbery, that is not bad.
No, and the it's not bad. Only 6.5 years. Time goes so fast these days.
For armed robbery? Yeah, that's
yeah. So his lawyer argued he was at the bottom of a 7-year downward spiral, and kind of told that story. And he was finally released on February the 17th, 2022. So he wants to redefine his legacy, and part of the reason he took part in the documentary was to try and redefine his legacy. He said his quote was, "Nobody wants to be remembered as this asshole, idiot, weirdo, or to be remembered as the guy. I want to be remembered as the guy who learned from his mistakes."
Oh, bold! No, this is you didn't, man.
Well, and then he said
he's too hard on himself. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't cause anybody trauma. It turned. He didn't even take that much fucking money. I was like, I don't know if the banks even wanted to report it. Like, well, should we? Is it worth our time going through insurance for $2,500? Should we even call the cops? Like,
he's been trying to rebrand himself as an advocate for men's mental health, which seems to be like.
I mean, that's nice.
That is nice, but I don't know. I feel like that's what everyone's doing these days, aren't they?
Men are not doing too great there, buddy.
So I feel, but there's, and I don't want to ruin the documentary, but there's this interesting.
Go ahead. I'm not going to watch it.
So-
but if
so
if anybody listening is going to watch it, skip ahead a minute.
yeah, if you're going to just skip to the end, it's fine. He's trying to paint this picture of, I was in a dark place. I'm trying to rebuild my life. I want people to learn from my mistakes. I'll tell you he was trying to sell his story. And that was part of doing the documentary, was selling his story. His ex-wife basically says, don't trust anything he says. You can't trust him. She thinks that it was all done cynically. And the twist, the question mark at the end is, did he rob these banks as part of crafting his own redemption story? Or did he do it out of desperation? You kind of don't quite know what his intentions were for robbing, whether he was trying to build this kind of legendary status about himself from the bank robberies, or whether he actually did it out of desperation.
There's no fucking way. There's no way someone has like a fucking 10-year plan that starts with robbing a small amount of banks for the most pathetic amount of money ever in the history of bank robberies, going to jail for 6 years, and then making a shitty documentary to rebuild your. This is not a plan. Nobody comes up with this plan when they're depressed in their truck and then goes and does it. Okay,
yeah, and then there's a character. I
don't have enough motivation to ask my friends for help, for financial help, or even food. I'm going to make a 10-year plan where 6 of it is in prison. Okay,
and then I can't. The details are flimsy because I watched this a few months ago. But at the end, there's a character, a good friend of his, who has this interesting life story that included robbing banks and going to prison, and it seemed like potentially he was modeling. Was he using that as a framework?
Well,
and
there's
a scene where they reveal
twist.
There's a scene where they reveal to that guy that maybe Steve was trying to steal his story and do it for himself, and his friend kind of looks pissed off, and almost believes it. So it's kind of,
that is an interesting twist. I'll give you that. Okay,
yeah, it's an interesting story. So that was the Sexiest Man in Winnipeg.
I mean, I still don't believe that someone depressed in their truck after losing everything is going to make a 10-year plan where 6 of it is, or like a number of it. He's not going to know how much time he's getting served, but he knows prison's part of this plan. I just don't see that as being a long-term plan, that's modeling after his friend. But
who knows?
Who the fuck knows? Yeah. What a great story. That was really fun.
Trying to do an STD zone.
Sure.
You are now entering the STD zone. Incoming STD. Loading small talk. Enhancing anecdotes. Dick jokes processing. You have reached the small talk dimension zone.
So, Jesse, what have you been up to?
Nothing. Procrastinating, doing work as much as humanly possible, and playing Alan Wake 2. I finally got around to playing Alan Wake.
That's the game you suggested to my kids when we were driving.
I say all kinds of horrible things to your kids when you're driving and
I'm like, Jesse's calling kids. Do you want to speak to Uncle Jesse, kids? Yes, Daddy. Let's speak to Uncle Jesse. See what tales he's got from Montreal.
It's really fun. Every time you put me on speakerphone.
Awful things to my kids.
Well, you and I can't help it. You and I are chatting. Your kids
I have a
in the backseat, and then just before we go, I'm like, "Kids, ask your dad about the human centipede," and then he hangs up.
Yeah, trying to explain human centipede to them was a nightmare. We have Google, Jesse. Anyway.
But yeah, I'm playing Alan Wake 2, and it's I bought it a couple years ago, and it's just one of those. I loved Alan Wake is one of my favorite video games of all time, and those who know it's just there's a cult following for the thing, and they finally made a sequel.
Alan's Wake.
Alan's Wake. It's great. It's very atmospheric. It's a great story. I know. I'm a few hours in, but that's all that's going on with me. Nothing much.
Great, that's wonderful. Yeah. Something amazing happened on our social media last night.
Okay.
And it was a real high point. And it didn't get much attention, but I was happy.
Tell me.
So somebody posted on Reddit, a user on Reddit posted a picture of the Alberta Separatists had a roadside sign to get people to stop and sign the separation petition.
That's
and
funny.
it's the Alberta flag and a big homemade sign that says, "Sign Petitien here." They spelled petition Petitien. So
that's amazing.
So,
Petitien.
Petitien. Sign Petitien here. So I posted that as like a video on a couple of social medias. With the tagline, "Separatists' finest, ... was my kind of sarcastic British take on it. But then someone who was obviously, and I looked at their post, they love separation from Canada. They love conspiracies. They love like, Justin Trudeau is an alien or whatever. They look like the kind of person who takes a selfie in a truck with wraparound sunglasses.
Is this on Instagram? This is on Reddit, you said?
This was on TikTok.
It's on TikTok. Okay.
So this guy then posted saying, "French is our second language. People forget when too many immigrants move here." So I was like, I don't think that's the French word for petition. I think the word for petition in French is also petition. There's just a little character, the E has got a little, like.
How would you are famously known for how bad you are with French.
I'm from Europe. I've been to France a lot. I've been to France more than most of the French speakers in Canada. I worked there a couple of weeks too. Right. So anyway, just because my grasp of the language is terrible doesn't mean that I didn't absorb some things.
All right.
So I replied, "That's not how you spell petition. In French, it's petition. Somehow you topped the original post, Ryan," was my response.
It's great.
It was a real high point for me. And I was just sat on the toilet giggling.
There you go, Ryan. Taken down by a man taking a poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did have to Google it. I did double check.
I'm sure.
And then I was like, is there any spelling of Petitien? And it comes up saying, "Did you mean petition?" all the time. So anyway, that's
great.
That was it.
Sexiest Man in Winnipeg. That was a fun episode. Thank you very much. Dear listener, if you liked this episode, send us a speak pipe.
Go to canadaisboring.com where you can leave a voicemail message, email us, leave a review. Everything is at canadaisboring.com, canadaisboring.com, canadaisboring.com.
Canadaisboring.com. We'd love to hear from you. If it's funny, we'll play it on the air. If it's really horrible, we'll probably just keep to ourselves.
Yeah. So peace out, bros.
Peace. Yep. What he said.
Super, they cool, they much too polite. A place that's exciting with quick